Benjamin. Hi. Are you in your bouncy? You are. Now today, we're gonna bust through chicken pot pies, manicotti, sausage and rice bake, baked chicken spaghetti, pizza casserole with zucchini, orange sesame chicken, and baked egg rolls. Hey friends, so it is day 2 of my freezer cooking. It's not gonna be like a freezer cooking day though, because by the time I get started, it's gonna be like 5:30 in the evening. I've just been puttering and doing other things I want to do, because you know that's my motto. I just do what I want to do. I've been doing those things for much of today, and now I'm gonna go on a nice big hike with the kids. Hi, sweetie. And then I'm gonna let loose in the kitchen. I'm probably gonna end up going, I don't know, 5:30 till 11 or so, but I'm hoping to bust out all those meals that I did a lot of meal prepping for tomorrow. So here we go on our big walk first. Okay, we're in our forest now, and Liam wants to show something. Okay, Liam, ready, set, go. Oh, yeah.
It's 2 lightsabers.
Oh, awesome. Yes, I found those at Walmart marked down to $5. As a Star Wars mom, I could not get those. So I got everybody a set because they were regularly, you know, like $19.99, $20. So for $5 in the clearance section, I was like, yes.
No, I'm not gonna be ready.
You got your lightsaber, Daniel? Woo, woo, woo. Okay, so I must be like a kid who doesn't want to clean their room. But we got back from our hike and around, and now I've been resting and watching the kids play. I've almost found my motivation. It's gonna happen. These meals are gonna get done.
This has nothing to do with freezer cooking.
Okay, so what have you been doing in this hammock, Gabriel? Wow, look at this kid. How do you get yourself out of that, Gabriel?
I have no idea.
Well, I was sitting here having my rest, and I was watching him do this, and I said, okay, the internet friends need to see this. Wow, yeah, you unspin faster. There you go. Then you can stick your feet out.
Yeah, this is how I get out.
And your clothes are wet because why, country boy?
I asked Naomi to pour water on me.
You're a forest explorer, aren't you? Gabriel, you look so much older to me when I'm looking at you. I know. How old are you now?
9.
9. Now, friends who've been watching our videos the last 4 years, Gabriel, you were 5 when I started doing YouTube. Okay, but wait, before I get going on freezer cooking, I'm in here now talking to Travis, and I told Travis if I'm gonna start vlogging more, he's gonna show up some more. So he's doing car guy stuff. You have to see this before you see freezer cooking. Okay, he's replacing universal joints
on my drive shaft.
On his drive shaft. You hear this, ladies? Universal joints, drive shaft.
My C-clip is rusted in there.
C-clip is rusted in there.
Right here.
Right there.
Part of it broke off.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to dig it out of there so I could push this out with my clamp here, and then we'll push a new one in.
We made you talk. Yay! Okay, so here we go for real now. So I came in, these are all of my new ginormous, I think they're like 10 by 15 glass baking dishes. I had Zion rinse those out for me. And these were a few more bowls I had soaking from last night. So I have slowly been investing in glass baking dishes for my freezer cooking. But I want to encourage you, especially if you're just starting out, you do not have to have big, thick, sturdy baking dishes to get going with your freezer cooking. I have been doing this a while. When I first started freezer cooking back when I had 3 small children and I was working full-time outside of the house as a nurse, I had 3 like old funky, I probably got them from the thrift store, baking pans, and they were metal. And so I would just make an extra pan of lasagna or an extra kind of like rice bake or whatever it was I was doing, and I would freeze those for the weekends when I worked. Or I would make like a big pot of soup, big pot of spaghetti sauce, some sort of big pot meal, so that when my husband was home with the 3 small children and I was working 36 to 40 hours within 3 night shifts, he wouldn't have to think too much about food since he was home with little kids all weekend. We know how that goes. People wanted to know if you could actually use glass for freezer cooking. So yes, you can. Now of course you have to follow the manufacturer's directions and all of those disclaimers when people are looking wanting to not do like freezer cooking and use a lot of aluminum products, it's pretty common for people to use glass baking dishes. You do want to make sure those are thoroughly defrosted. You don't want to put ice cold from the freezer pans into your oven. That is where, from what I've read, glass can break. Now, I have frozen glass before. I've never personally had a problem with it. All that to say, don't let not having all the perfect things that you need up front stop you from freezer cooking. You can do a whole lot in freezer bags. I have read, and several of my YouTube viewers have suggested, that if you wrap your pan, you can freeze your meal, and then you do like a flash freeze. Once your meal is frozen, you can take it out of the pan, put it into a freezer bag, or wrap it securely with freezer paper and plastic wrap, and then the day that you need it, you would just remove all of that, put it back into the baking dish, let it defrost, and then cook it as normal. So there's lots of different ways you can do that. So those are like all my disclaimers saying, hey, I got a bunch new glass baking pans that are also freezer and oven safe. I'm excited to use them. But I say again, please don't let it hold you back. If we don't match, you just get started wherever you are. Okay, so looking at our list here where we left off last night, and if you missed all of this, I have a big freezer meal prep day I did yesterday. It ended up being about 8 hours, which included real life interruptions, cleanup time, etc. I cooked a ton of sausage, a ton of chicken, a ton of ground beef. I did a big stock pot of vegetable beef soup, a big stock pot of quinoa, tortellini, sausage soup, and I bulk cooked my rice and my noodles today, and I made 144 mini meatloaves. So it was a good session. Now today we're gonna bust through chicken pot pies, manicotti, sausage and rice bake, baked chicken spaghetti, pizza casserole with zucchini, which also I don't have any squash. I would normally put squash in it too, but Walmart didn't fulfill that part of my order. We're gonna do orange sesame chicken and baked egg rolls. And just going through what I have prepped and ready, I think I'm gonna actually do this a little backwards in how I have it written. I'm gonna start down here. This orange sesame chicken is actually a slow cooker recipe, which you can do big in bulk in actually the Instant Pot or the slow cooker. I'm gonna get mine going in the slow cooker, and because I may need my Instant Pots for something else, I shall see. Long story short, I'm gonna get that cooking, and then I'm gonna jump to doing baked egg rolls and just kind of going where inspiration hits to get it all done. Getting all of our ingredients over here so I can get the orange sesame chicken in the, I am gonna use the Instant Pots. I decided I would do it Instant Pot wise because I get lots of Instant Pot requests. And so the only difference would be if you would go to do it in your slow cooker, you're gonna want your chicken to be defrosted first. You're gonna dump in all of these ingredients I'm getting ready to show you, and then you would let it cook on low for about 4 to 6 hours. And then after we get this orange sesame chicken rolling, then we'll get the egg rolls baking, because that's what the family is feeling like for dinner anyway. So that'll be great. I will feed that to them and freeze 90% of it, and then we'll move on to the next recipes. What I have done in both of my electric pressure cookers, I am doing 10 pounds of this orange sesame chicken right now. So I have 10 pounds total. I put a little more than half in my 14 quart, and then more of the chicken breast over here in my 8 quart. Then I'm gonna add in a cup of barbecue sauce. We're gonna do marmalade, I got my OJ, all those wonderful ingredients that are gonna all come together to make orange sesame chicken. 1 cup of barbecue sauce going in, and then 1 cup of orange juice. And this is funny, I only got a gallon of orange juice, and this morning I just had a little bit left, and I got it to make this recipe. So I said I need rest for recipe. I didn't even say the rest, but they got the point and saved me just a little bit so I could get this chicken made. Next, I'm adding in 1 cup of marmalade into each pressure cooker. And not that I'm being such a health conscious perfect person, so since I just put marmalade and barbecue sauce and orange juice with this chicken, but I do have some of this natural soy sauce alternative. I'm going to use a half a cup in each pressure cooker. If all you have is regular old soy sauce, I've done that too. Use what you have. And then we're going to add in 2 tablespoons each of sesame seed oil. I still need to put in a little bit of minced garlic, and then I'm going to do a tablespoon in each of this ginger paste. I'm gonna just be a lazy Instant Pot user and use manual. I had it up high for frozen meat I was cooking last night. I was doing a whole bunch of ground beef. But anyway, with the frozen chicken and everything else, 30 minutes on manual. Okay, Benjamin is making everything sound like a pet shop in the background now. He is making all kinds of cute noises, but sealing this pressure cooker. I'm gonna set it to pressure, and it is locked. So again, on this one, pressure time, it is just manual high to 30 minutes. So here's the aftermath I have to clean up now, and then next we'll be working on those baked egg rolls. So I'm getting my Dutch oven here going with my various filling for the baked egg rolls. I just put 1 can of bean sprouts in there, getting ready to put another can in, and then also some sliced water chestnuts. These are not my absolute favorite, but it's a good egg roll filling and other people in my house like them. So I'll take one for the team. Here is the egg roll filling. I'm going to put a lid on this so that the vegetables soften. I ended up putting in the 2 cans of bean sprouts, a small can of water chestnuts. This is 8 cups of, I cheated, this is just the matchstick carrots. Let's see what else is in here. About 4 tablespoons of minced garlic. Also 4 cups of green onions. I had a whole lot of green onion. I wanted to use it up, and I don't think anyone is really gonna know whenever this is all cooked down. So again, gonna put my lid on this now and work on some other steps. So a lot of the vegetables have reduced down. I just put in 6 cups of shredded chicken, and I'm going to stir this back up and then get the lid on. So here is the complete filling, our egg roll mixture, and now I'm going to get the egg rolls out and we're going to start wrapping and rolling and baking them up. So I just took this first pan of egg rolls out of the oven, and man, they look good. I've got another pan in the oven now. I'm gonna show you how I'm wrapping them. I started to just wrap them and just put them on this little platter here, and then I'll probably lay some wet paper towels over them until I get another baking dish available or another baking pan or whatever. So while I'm doing this, I'm just keeping some wet paper towels here. These little egg roll wrappers are very thin. I'm just laying one of those out. The directions on the back of the wrapper say 3 tablespoons of whatever you're filling. I just eyeball it, of course. I'm doing like 3 spoonfuls. Yes, large family style egg rolls. So then I'm just pulling up the bottom part and wrapping it tight, pulling in both of my sides, and then wrapping it this way. Of course, it's all real delicate, but it works. Here's another pan that we just pulled out. So I'm over here bagging egg rolls, but I wanted to stop and show you. This is the 10 pounds of orange sesame chicken. I put all the chicken in here, and then with the broth, we'll call it, that was in one of these pressure cookers, I added about another 5 tablespoons of cornstarch. With the lid off, of course, I put the pressure cooker on saute. I actually did this over here in my Instant Pot. And then I thickened up the broth that was left in this Instant Pot. And then I poured that as the sauce on all of the chicken. I sprinkled some sesame seeds on it. I'm gonna let it cool now. We'll get it bagged up for the freezer. And then if you go over to largefamilytable.com, I'll show the thawing process and what it looks like hot over rice. Several of you have asked to see like before and after pictures of my meals. I don't always get those on YouTube, but also on the blog. Any recipe that I do is gonna have actual like before and after and during the process pictures. That's part of why I do that for you guys, because hard for me to get my mouth open about all the things over here. So a little update where we are now. It is late and the kids are in bed. And let's see, what have I gotten done? Well, I got the orange sesame chicken done. I got 60 of the chicken baked egg rolls. Right now I have another filling made where I'm going to do 60 more sausage and teriyaki egg rolls. I have decided to not do the sausage and rice bake in favor of using that sausage for these egg rolls. I thought that's fine. You know, there always seems to be one that I end up skipping. So that's the one I'm skipping for this time. Right now I've got noodles boiling for the baked chicken spaghetti. And what else am I working on? I need to bag up the orange sesame chicken that has been cooling. And then I'm gearing up to trying to decide, okay, Jamerrill brain, do we want which one of these four? Which one of these four? Well, I guess we shall see what I find myself working on here in a few minutes. So what I am working on now, I just got done mixing together the filling minus the noodles for the baked creamy chicken spaghetti. So this was 3 of the family size cans of cream of mushroom soup. That will be my sin. That will get me in trouble. So cream of mushroom soup, we have 3 cups of sour cream. I have 6 cups of mozzarella. I have a 7-ounce can of green chilies. And then I have about 4 pounds of shredded chicken. Now I'm going to drain the noodles and get that mixed up in here. Then we're going to put it in our baking pans and also top it with cheese. Here are the 4 pans. These are 10 by 15. Deep dish of the baked creamy chicken spaghetti. 4 of those done, so crossing that off. So now I'm going for a bunch of homemade chicken pot pies. That's a whole lot of butter. So it's a total of 8 cups of butter. You can see the evidence here. I had some regular salted butter, and then a whole bunch of Kerrygold butters had to be sacrificed for the making of these homemade chicken pot pies. Also, freezer cooking confessions. This is the AM time, not the PM time. But remember, I didn't start really until after 7 p.m. And the kids have been long gone to bed, and that's that. So I'm just gonna cook the night away and sleep in the morning and go team go. Okay, so now the butter is melted. I'm gonna add in the flour. So manicotti is underway this early Saturday morning. This is a 10 by 15 pan. So I've got about 13 stuffed manicotti rolls in here. I'm also gonna put on 2 cups of shredded mozzarella and get another pan going. So late night freezer cooking continues. We got 5 of these pans of manicotti that are going out in the freezer. Here are my 3 in the morning tail end of the egg rolls. The last of the stuff is going in the freezer. I am leaving the great big freezer cooking kitchen mess till we get up late tomorrow because it's Saturday. Definitely gonna sleep in, but my list is done. So tomorrow when I am more coherent, I will share the list with you guys. So friends, it's a couple days past my freezer cooking time. I think it's like 2 days after. We had Father's Day yesterday. Went up to the Northern Virginia, DC area for that. Today is a home day. We're gonna bust through a lot of big house cleaning, those kind of things. But I wanted to wrap up and let you know my freezer cooking final numbers for my last 2 freezer cooking sessions. I'm gonna show you how everything turned out in my freezers. So total, I ended up doing, it was about 8 hours of cooking on both days, on my Thursday freezer cooking time and on my Friday freezer cooking time, which you know on Friday I was wild and crazy and I did freezer cooking from 7 p.m. to about 3:23 a.m. What I ended up with were about 40 or so large family style meals that we will just add into our meal plan as needed. What I've been doing lately is, of course, I plan or so my big shopping trips for a month. I freezer cook knowing that these meals are good for up to 3 months, sometimes a little more. But then I look at our life and what we have going on for each individual week, and I plan what we're going to eat for that week based on what is happening. Like yesterday we were up near DC. Tomorrow we're going to be going to the lake all day. Actually, Wednesday I'm going up to DC for Zion's birthday. Thursday we're going to IKEA, which is another out-of-town trip, and then Friday I think we're home most of the day, but we're going to go see The Incredibles 2 that night. So not all weeks have where we're buzzing in and out all day every day, But summertime, homeschool family, we have the freedom to do that any time of year, right? So you just never know with our weeks. I have to kind of drill down individually. All that to say, if you go over to largefamilytable.com, I will have the recipes for all the meals I made and any other final drill down numbers if you are interested in any recipes. Or I like to sit down and kind of process my thoughts, and I give a play-by-play of how the freezer cooking days went over on the blog. So now I'm going to take you out to show you those freezers. Okay, I think with the humidity going from the air conditioning house outside, I think it's like 93 and humid in Virginia today, even in the wilderness. You can see Travis's backhoe behind me. So I've mentioned this in a few vlogs. What we have going on is I got a new refrigerator for my kitchen. My kitchen refrigerator is still yeehaw, just like a country woman out on my back deck, until we get Travis's truck out of the garage. We get the bookshelves from IKEA built. We get the book boxes out of the garage. See, everything builds upon one another. We're doing so many big projects around our house. Things don't happen quick around here. It takes us a little bit to get it done. All that to say, it's why I'm showing you the freezer that's currently on my deck that will live in the garage until that living room project finally happens. But we're gonna get our fences done and test things out, if you know what I mean, that way first. So in this freezer at the moment, all it is in here pretty much is my soups, and then I have some of my meatloaf minis down there. But that is all that is living in this freezer for the moment. Okay, so I just unlocked it. So here is the state of my ginormous freezer. And yes, now you see all those chicken nuggets up there. That is from, I had a 4-day speaking trip I went out of town for. Sorry, my dogs are barking in the background. Anyway, I had that 4-day speaking trip. I had no freezer cooking done beforehand, and so to make it easy on Travis, I ordered him from Walmart grocery pickup a bunch of like chicken nuggets, fish sticks, just real life dad food. Mom's out of town and there's no freezer meals in the freezer, and they actually didn't even end up using, I think they might have used like 2 bags of the nuggets. They ended up not needing it. But that's our emergency freezer dad food for now. And so here's the rest of what is in my freezer right now. A lot of these meals in the glass pans. In here we've got some various meat, more freezer meals in the pans. There's another one there. Here are some egg rolls. Down here is some bulk meat that's already pre-cooked and some more casseroles. And yeah, so this is how jammed up the freezer is at the moment. Here's the orange chicken down here. I've got some shrimp, other veggies in the door. So there's the freezer. That's how it turned out after these last 2 freezer cooking days. So there you go, guys. Be sure to like this video. If you like my large family freezer cooking videos, comment down in those comments below, because I always have fun chatting with you guys down there. And head over to largefamilytable.com to see the recipe breakdowns, all the directions, lots of pictures. Again, I know you guys ask me like, what do these meals look like when they're done? I have pictures on the blog, and every single recipe I have pictures of the steps I take to make it and then what they look like when we eat it. I may not always get those over on YouTube. There's always hope that I'll do that, though. I would like to film one of those like what we ate this week type videos. But that's it. I'll see you next time with another brand new video. Bye-bye.